connecting Indigenous musicians and artists to the world. Welcome to Indigenous Superstars with your host, Rhonda Head.
Hello, everyone. I hope my internet's working. It seems like I'm kind of lagging here, but welcome to Indigenous Superstars. I'm happy to be here today. Happy New Year. I'm just going to move my computer here so you don't see my Hydra account. But I'm doing an early show today, and I have a really awesome guest. And I just want to say that it's minus 36 here today. We've been in a cold snap for the past week. And so it's getting everyone to stay warm. We're also going through another wave of COVID. And, we decided to go into lockdown on Thursday. So we've not been going out of the house, only for essential items. So we took that upon ourselves to go into lockdown, just to be safe, just to keep everyone safe in my house. And I was planning on going to the Grammy Awards, but those got postponed. So they're thinking either March or in between March and June. So hopefully that'll take place, and that's going to be happening in Los Angeles. So hopefully I'll be able to go. I went in 2019, and it was a really incredible experience. So I'm really excited to go back. The other thing that got canceled, well, a whole bunch of events are getting canceled. Like I was planning to go to the Seminole Powwow in Florida, but that also got postponed till next year. So it gives me more time to work on my regalia and to get my stamina back. I kind of slacked off during the holidays, eating too much and watching too much movies. So I really took a break, a much needed break that I needed. So I'm just letting everyone, people tuning in, that the show is streaming live on my Facebook channel, on my Facebook and on my YouTube channel. You can go and subscribe on there, and you could go and watch the past people that I've interviewed so far. And today I'm on guest number 97. So I'm going to read my guest's bio, and I'm really excited to have him here. Kini Kahauolopua. I hope I pronounced that properly. Anyways, he'll correct me when he comes on. He grew up in Kapalama area of Honolulu on the island of Oahu. He is of Hawaiian, Chinese, and Irish descent. One of his first cooking jobs was at the Royal Hawaiian Hotel. Following his time there, Kini was hired to help open several well-known high-volume restaurants in Honolulu. After these accomplishments, he eventually joined the team as a private members-only establishment in Waikiki. Upon graduating with Culinary and Patisserie degrees from the Culinary Institute of the Pacific, formerly Kapiolani Community College, he set out on a 10-day vacation to New York City. And I'm not going to go on and read his bio because I want him to share his story. He has quite the amazing story of how he became where he's working right now. And so I'm going to bring him on. He's a really good friend of mine. Hello, Kitty.
Aloha, Kako. Aloha, how are you?
That's it. I'm good. How are you? Aloha.
Very good.
So can you tell us if I slaughtered your last name?
Very close. The last name is Kahauolopua.
Kahauolopua.
Olopua, yes. It's very phonetic.
Okay. So what does it mean?
I've heard of two different variations of it. One meaning could be the dew from the hau tree, It's a very strong wood, hardwood tree, and it grows very large. It expands the canopy. And also another version of the last name, my last name is administration of children. So like a teacher. So
Oh,
that's what.
nice. That's so interesting. So I have a bunch of questions to ask you about your career in the food industry. And I just wanted to know, the first question I want to ask you is like, what made you interested in getting into cooking and preparing food?
Um, well, growing up in Hawaii, food is a universal language, right? We all speak that language, and food is something that you know, no matter where you are in the world, you have comfort. They have the comfort foods and stuff. So growing up, um, I never cooked growing up. So I wanted to do something in my life that I definitely wanted to. Uh, I wanted to get into a trade that I can travel with, right? So food really became something that um, how can I say? If food is something that really again brings people together. So when I went to the culinary school, Kapiolani Community College, um, that really was what really pushed me to have that love for that food, to learn how to cook, to learn how to, seeing food, tasting food is a great thing, but having to be able to put things together, having to make it from scratch, that was kind of what I wanted to do. So with that being put onto me, um, I really fell in love with it. And from the first class to currently, I've just never been stopping, just learning different cultures, learning my own culture, and showing others, what I can do and where I'm from.
So out of all the dishes that you've prepared, what is your favorite dish to prepare?
Um, it's hard. It's hard to say one specific dish. Um, I I definitely love. I mean, chicken is always something that really gets to me, and then also to hello,
Hello, I'm here.
what happened?
You're freezing up. Okay, Kenny's frozen right now. So I'll just give you a little bit of background about him too. I met him in New York City a couple of years ago with my friend Leah Ballantyne. We decided to go on a trip to New York, and she met Kenny because she went to school in Hawaii, and they met in Hawaii. And when we went to for a trip to New York, she said, "Let's go see my friend Kini. He works at one of the hotels in New York." So we went to go visit him, and we had a good visit. He was a great guy, and oh, we kind of lost him right now. So I'll continue on with the story. We went to go meet him, and he was a super nice guy, and he's Hawaiian, so we're all indigenous to our areas. Leah's from Pakatawagan, I'm from Opaskwayak, and Kini is from Hawaii. So it's really exciting to meet somebody from the Big Island of Hawaii, and he ended up being a really awesome chef and works been working in prestigious hotels, and he was telling me about his story, and he had a really interesting story to share, and that's why I decided to interview him today. But he's having just messaged me. He's trying to get in back into the internet, so I'll keep talking about Kinney. And so yeah, he cooks these really amazing dishes, and he has a really awesome story to share. So I guess I'll read some of other his bio. So I stopped reading his bio when he set out on a 10-day vacation to New York City. It was on this trip where Kini was afforded the opportunity in a few days to work at the prestigious Essex House, and he decided to take the proverbial plunge to move to the Big Apple. He has been and continues to work in 5-star and luxury hotels in Midtown Manhattan. Oh, here we go. We got him back.
Hi. I'm
Hi,
sorry. I don't know what happened. Some
that's okay.
technical
I was just trying
difficulties.
to read the rest of your bio, but welcome back. So you were talking about chicken before you.
Yeah. So going back, I mean, the most favorite I can really go back to is, especially being, from the culture, we have a dish called lau lau. It's consists of it's taro leaves, pork, a little bit of fish, and a specific fish. We call it in Hawaii. It's a butterfish, or here on the continent, there's something very similar called a black sable fish. So that's a little piece that's put into that, and then it's wrapped like a gift in a taro leaf, or in Hawaiian we call it kalo.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that. So I always heard my mom talk about when she was preparing dishes that you always need to prepare your food with love. So, and I believe that too. So can you tell us about that? I'm sure you understand what because you were talking about it when you were talking about getting into the career of the cooking industry.
The passion, yes. For me, that passion, that drive, that love is, again, it's something that I wanted to show on other people, like seeing how people's faces, react to food. That's the amount of love or the aloha that you put into. Some people can follow recipes, and that's fantastic. It's amazing, and some people don't follow recipes. That's something that it's either instilled in them as a child, growing up. But that love, that passion, is knowing or picturing in your mind what that end result of something that you created with your own two hands. So that's something I would, that's where that love, that passion comes from, that aloha.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that. So reading your bio, you've worked at some prestigious hotels, and like, how did you get working in these hotels?
New York City, how it started was, I originally had a planned vacation, and for a certain amount of days, and I just basically I put out my resume to different restaurants in different places. Hopefully I could stage, or basically work for free, for a couple of days at either a restaurant or hotel that would have me. And so, putting that out, I actually got one callback from a hotel, and they actually interviewed me 3 times, and this is within the span of a day and a half. And they asked me if I could stay on board, but I had to explain to them the situation, that I was only there temporarily. I'm visiting from Hawaii, and things worked out that I could actually make it happen and jump on this opportunity.
That's awesome. And New York is such an exciting city, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
As they say, it's the city that never sleeps, but not lately, or since the pandemic. But
Yeah.
there's still a lot of things to do, and it does keep you busy here.
That's good. So I also read in your bio before you moved over to North America
Mhm.
that you joined a private members establishment after you helped with
Mhm.
restaurants in Hawaii. Can you tell us about that?
It's a members only club. It's located at the edge of Waikiki. Um, I guess I can say it was the Outrigger Canoe Club. Yeah, and there was a very big opportunity for me where I could actually really um, learn from some of the best chefs. So there in that club, that members only club, it was a prime location in Waikiki, and you would the back view of the ocean. It was amazing. The people, the the members that would come, they're all amazing individuals. Of course, they travel a lot as most.
That's awesome. I would love to go to your home community. It sounds so beautiful. Sounds
Absolutely.
so beautiful.
Maybe not at this moment during the
Yeah,
pandemic,
when it's
but
safe. When it's because we're actually in lockdown right now in my house
okay.
since Thursday because the Omicron is coming into our area now. So
Sure.
the numbers are starting to spike in our area.
Yeah.
So yes, when the world allows us to travel again, I would love to go and visit your
Yeah.
community. And one of the ladies tuning in, she always tunes in from Thompson, Manitoba. That's like a 5 hour ride north from where I am from. It's even more colder there, Kenny. Can you believe?
Enjoy. Yeah.
So she said she made the comment that sounds like a collaboration needs to happen. Kini coming to the north to do some cooking with our elders and our culinary students using our northern and traditional foods. So there you go. You got an invitation. So we'll have to work on bringing
Mahalo.
during the summertime though, right?
I'm sorry.
During the summertime though, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yes, for sure. The first thing I was gonna say is definitely when it's warmer. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I know you're gonna freeze if you come here
Yes.
during the winter.
Yeah. 0 degrees Fahrenheit is pretty much my limit there. So
Okay.
negative 40, 30.
So definitely during the summertime. It's really beautiful here in the summertime. Lots of fishing. That's our staple diet is fishing
Mhm.
and moose meat and caribou and
Mm.
yeah. So I'm sure you would have lots of fun getting creative preparing dishes.
Absolutely. I'll definitely be part of that.
Oh yeah. So I'll talk to um, Billy, Bobby. Sorry, Bobby to see what kind of what would you say a workshop or whatever like we can apply for a grant to bring you to Canada to do that with our communities and we would love to have you here in our community for sure or in our area especially in northern Manitoba it's so much it's so beautiful here and it's beautiful here in the winter time but it's more beautiful in the summertime we have a lot of
Mm.
lakes and trees and it's lots of stuff to do here.
Awesome. That sounds amazing.
Oh, somebody from another country said something, but I don't know what they said, so I'm not gonna put it on there. So I remember the time I went to New York and Leah. I kind of shared a little bit of the story, but our friend, we have a mutual friend named Leah Ballantyne, and you met her in Hawaii, right?
Yes.
The lawyer, yeah, and then you guys remained friends, and then me and Leah went out to New York and we went to go visit you and that's how I got to meet you and
Mm.
you shared some of your amazing story with me about how you got into the cooking industry and then moving to New York City and that's just want to share a little bit about the background of how we got connected. Excuse me. So I have another question. Um, what advice would you give to a young chef getting into the cooking industry? Oh, he's frozen again. And Jen Hoskins said, "Good morning. Good morning, Jen, from the Pa, Manitoba." So we're just waiting for Kini to get unfrozen here. Oh, we lost him again. So he's probably going to take some time to get back in. But I wanted to hear from him what advice he would give to any young chefs coming up, just getting into the cooking industry. I'm sure they would want to know. And I just want to say, Kini's a fantastic chef.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Raven Reed says hello from Saskatchewan. From Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. It's even colder there than here, Kini.
Oh, aloha. now, besides, is there a specific type of like a winter coat that you guys like to
Well,
that you guys use?
down jackets, like really
Right.
with duck feathers, and it just keeps
Like
us
Canada
warm.
Goose.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what we would give you if you come here.
I need 3 jackets, 3 down jackets. Okay.
She
Sorry,
said,
so
so Raven Reed said, "So cold over here. Aloha. Yes, we wear parkas over here." So that's a layered jacket that we wear. So let's get back into the question before we lost you. What advice would you give to a young up and coming chef getting into the cooking industry?
you know, for myself growing up, there really wasn't too many opportunities or sources to find out how to cook. The old traditional way was usually you go to a famous chef or a restaurant and you work physically hands on, and that's how you would get the best training. But today's society and with the social media, things are information is more accessible. So I always believe that yes, learn your culture, learn your heritage, but also don't be afraid to try to learn different styles of cuisine. You know, I know many times we get stuck and we get comfortable. And for myself, I can speak from experience that there was always a certain type of food that I would eat. Growing up, I said, "Oh, I wouldn't like this type, or I wouldn't like that type." But now, again, with more accessible information and in more places that you can actually reach now, um, I definitely would suggest that learn as much as you can from anyone you can. Even though you've cut an onion, 100 times, but there's always another way to cut an onion. Multiple ways. So don't be afraid. You know, Something that you don't understand or you don't know, learn it. Go on YouTube, go on Google. You know, expand, expand your culinary capabilities. So and just love and live. Just go. No scared. Just go.
Thank you. So a viewer asked, Raven Reed from Saskatchewan says, "What's your earliest memory of cooking food?"
Or food? Oh, food. Um, a lot of that going back would be, I remember my grandfather giving me poi. Now, poi is a very important food to the Hawaiian culture. It is actually it's a staple of everything they ate, but also too it has a spiritual connection because kalo or haloa, the the creation of Hawaiian culture is through a story of haloa. Haloa was the first man in Hawaii, but it was a stillborn. And when his mother and father Wakea and Papa, hello,
Hello, I'm here.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I can hear
So
you.
Wakea and Papa.
Oh, he's frozen again. But we'll wait for him to come back to finish his story. I love his the story of where he comes from and his culture. It's beautiful. So thank you for tuning in today, Raven and Jen and Bobby, and commenting, making comments, and everyone else tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. It's the first time I'm interviewing a chef, and he has some great stories to share about his. Raven Reed said his Wi-Fi is from Canada, frozen. I'll have to tell him that when he comes back. Good one, Raven. Oh, here he is. He's back.
Yeah.
Kenny.
So I believe it's the plug. Take the
Kenny,
plug
Raven from Saskatoon said his Wi-Fi is from Canada. It's frozen.
out. Yeah. It's just made in Manitoba. That's weird. So anyway, so the creation story in Hawaiian culture is Wakea, Father Sky, and Papa Hana, or Mother Earth, had a daughter, Hokulani, and she gave birth to a stillborn, which she's named Haloa. Now she planted Haloa at the corner of her house, and when she would weep over Haloa, and her tears would water the grave of Haloa, which he eventually grew into what we know now as Kalo. So then she had a second child. She actually gave birth to a child, Haloa Naka. Now this first Hawaiian male, is the sibling of the first stillborn baby. So this is where that spiritual, the connection comes in, where kalo is so important to Hawaiian culture, because the kalo nourishes our body, and reciprocation is that we also nourish one another. You know, so again, so kalo very important. And in case of those that don't know what kalo or taro is, let me see right here. This is actually some of the leaves, the print on the leaves.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so kalo. So that being a very important food, we take that, we'd boil it, and we'd mash it, and that becomes poi. So for me, that first memory of poi really, really sticks out for me today.
Thank you for sharing that beautiful story. Thank you very much. So we're getting close to the end of our program, and I want to thank you so much for sharing your history, your beautiful culture and history, and your incredible journey to New York, from Hawaii to New York City, and in the culinary industry. And do you have any parting words you'd like to share?
Just want to say, love everybody, aloha everybody, and love long and love deep, and love those who are close to you. Because with this pandemic has ever taught us anything, is that time is very short. Yeah, yes. And please spend time with the ones that you love. Nowadays, phone call, a video call, even something like this, social media. Reach out to family members. Just because they haven't called you doesn't mean they're not thinking of you.
That's so
So
true.
yeah, love hard and love as much as possible. Show all the aloha you can.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I guess Kasagitin, that means I love you in Cree, and mahalo and aloha. Thank you so much for coming onto the show today. And Raven says, awesome show, Rhonda. Thanks, Kini, aloha, and ohana.
Ohana, yes, yes. And mahalo to you, Rhonda, for having me today. I appreciate your time. I know you're such a busy schedule. Thank you, and
Thank you.
I really want to take you up on that. See you up
For
in
sure. Oh,
Canada
yeah. We'll keep in touch, and
during
we'll
the summer.
make sure it happens for sure. For sure. So thank you everyone for tuning in today. And my next guest on Thursday is the actor musician Sean Michael Perry. So thank you again for tuning in, and Ikisa, stay safe. Kasagitin.
Aloha.
Tune in again next time when Rhonda interviews another up-and-coming Indigenous superstar. Only on Indigenous Superstars.